Yeah, stuff's starting to defrost. There's stuff in there that's wet.
Wet, yes,
Wet.
but it's probably frozen solid, so just close it and nobody go in it later. Oh my God, I thought I.
You're driving this bus in the car.
You have got to be more careful. Yeah. Yeah. It was. Which one is that? That's mute. No, yeah, I think you have to put the X through it, right?
Sandra está metida ya. Oh, ¿será que yo puedo llamar? Yo no puedo llamar a Sandra. Dile a Sandra que el meeting.
Sí, está okay.
No la veo.
Oh.
Ujú. Sandra?
Yeah.
Hey, are you logged into the meeting? Hey,
Ellen,
yeah, are you logged into the meeting?
it's funny because I was just thinking about that.
Yeah. I'm like, my sister rang me, so I'm like, oh, I gotta tell Sandra just in case you don't remember.
No, I remember it. I was just like, that's going through my head now. I'm gonna log in. I might be like a few minutes late, but I'm gonna log in.
Okay, perfect.
Now, right?
Very good.
You're fine.
Yeah.
He broke wall.
But
I got another wall. Wall doesn't work.
Ya entré. Okay. Ya. Listo. Entonces que se quede abierto ahí. Ok. Pues, ¿qué más que yo?
Okay, we have better version of the melon award.
Pero me llama.
You are one in a melon, huh? I'm pretty sure. I know, but they're just being funny. It's just the way they're funny.
But this is my shirt from pre-K. That looks like it is hell. That was like fruity.
That's your shirt from pre-K?
That was a hella fruity.
Hey friends, somebody has a hot mic and we can hear everything you're saying.
Hey mom, is ice water?
Okay.
Hey, Mom. What, buddy? Were you ever embarrassed when you were corrected? Yes. Hey, Daniel. A brownie? Yes. Bouncy, bouncy. There you go. I like to do the bouncy, bouncy. Eat it over here. Eat it over here. Eat it over this. So you don't get any crumbs anymore. Gonna keep on guard. I do want dinner. Which one's for everybody? Huh?
It's your birthday. Happy birthday to Papa. Tomorrow.
Happy early birthday.
How old will Mama be?
Hey, everybody, welcome.
48.
I'm gonna ask everybody to remember to mute yourselves so we can get started on our meeting. Let's see if I can. I don't know. Let's see. It would be good if I learned as the host how to mute everybody. I'm not sure how to do that. All right.
Thank you. Unless anybody else has a burning desire to share.
Let's see. All right, guys, we're going to get started in just a second. I don't have that kind of view. That one looks amazing. All right, I'm struggling a little bit as the host to try to mute everybody. I can't find the participant who's not muted. So can everybody check and make sure that you're muted? Thanks.
Hello?
We're hearing some fun times in somebody's house.
Okay. What the hell is wrong with this?
All right, let's see if I can find you. Well, real quick.
Am I on mute? I can't even tell. I don't
You're not.
think
Nope, I can hear you. If you're saying, am I on mute?
Oh, that's me.
No. I'm looking for you. I'm coming through looking for you. I really thought I had it set up to where everybody's muted upon entry. So I don't know. I'm a dance teacher, I don't know what's going on, you know.
I don't know where the mute is. Your microphone is unmuted. Okay.
Here, okay.
Let's see. Okay, I found it. Thank you, Miss Bethany. Okay, everybody's muted. Oh, thank you, Melissa. Okay, see, this is why we need a team. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to come back to let's see. Let me find me. There I am, and pin me so you can see me. And I'm going to share my screen. All right. Oh, I am pinned. So let's go back to my gallery. All right, guys, we're going to get this going here. There we go. All right. Hello. Hi, everybody. Got Miss Heather and Miss Bethany here, and I know we've got other team members on the Zoom meeting. All right. We're really excited to get started. We're wearing our recital t-shirts from the Spring Sparkle Showcase. Ta-da! So it says Spring Sparkle Showcase here, and ours are going to say the spring concert and have your date and your kids' names on the back, just like these kids' names are on the back. See? So we're real excited to get these done. Those are going to be handed out in your classes next week. So you can have those for recital day or anytime you want to wear those. All right. Let's see. I am going to share my screen and we are going to get started. Thank you so much for joining me. I think it's really important that we just have this quick conversation. I say quick, I'm going to keep it as quick as I can. I want to make sure everybody feels comfortable about what we're doing next week. Can't believe we're just a little over a week away. I don't know what happened in May. Like, I can't even believe it.
We're working.
So we have been working. All right, I'm going to share my screen and I have a little presentation for you. Let's see if I can find it. Nope. It's in there. Here it is. Okay. Just sliding things around. All right, everybody, here we go. I'm going to present my slides to you. All right. And I am recording this so we can share it with our friends who missed tonight. And hopefully we're going to get all of your questions answered and help you feel at home coming to our spring concert next week. I'm at home right now with Miss Bethany and my kitchen cow, Gladys, in case you wondered. She does have a name. And so let's get going. So our spring concert is next week, Sunday, June 2nd for our 210 campus and Monday, June 3rd for our Fruit Cove campus. And we've got some things that we're going to be talking about today. Our talking points, I'm going to slide this over a little bit more. Our key talking points, what's on the agenda? Costume Picture Day, May 24th and 25th. That's this weekend. Costumes and dressing rooms, what's in your recital packet? Ticketing through the Florida Theater, when and where for dress rehearsal and when and where for our performance. So let's get talking about it. Oops, here we go. Let's see. There we go. All right, first of all, I want to mention that Costume Picture Day is this Friday, May 24th and Saturday, May 25th. On Friday, our photographer Jim is going to be set up at the 210 location, and on Saturday, he'll be set up at the Fruit Cove location. You can go to either location that's convenient for you, whatever day is convenient for you. You don't have to go to your home studio. It doesn't matter. I have been told that the Sign Up Genius, I say here, sign up for the time slot through the Sign Up Genius, and it is full. That's okay. I want you to just pick a spot and come. The point of the Sign Up Genius is not to completely avoid a line, but is to stagger everybody's, entry so that we don't have a 2-mile long line. So, if you haven't signed up yet and you need to come, look at the Sign Up Genius and kind of determine a place where you feel like it'll work out for you to come. So you want to bring your prepared order form. Those have been emailed out to you. We can put those, we need to put those in the app. We'll get those in the app tonight. Bring your prepared order form and get in line with your costume at your scheduled time. We want you to try to practice some poses before you come. Think about what's in your dance. Help your child practice some poses so you kind of have an idea of how you want to look in front of the camera. And you can choose how many costumes you take pictures in. If you have 1 million costumes and you want to get 1 million pictures, do it. If, mommy says, hey, we need to count our pennies here and you've got 16 costumes, I'm going to let you choose 2. That's fine too. I'll tell you what, we never got professional photos ever. Not, I think when we were like 5. And then after that, never again. So I think it's a great idea. When you're 44, you're going to be really grateful you have those pictures from when you were 10 years old.
And if you have ones with a sibling, you could do that if you like also.
That's right. You can do sibling photos. Sometimes we even have friends do photos together. So when you have multiple costumes, you can just, when you get done taking a photo, then you just go change your costume and you can come to the front of the line. So we can just keep that moving and you don't have to get to in the back of the line again and start all over. And you can wear your hair and makeup however you wish. So, you know, these costumes belong to you. Your pictures belong to you. You can make those pictures look how you want. I mean, I think it's great to look like a dancer in your dance photos, but if you decide you want to have bangs and curly hair and light pink lipstick instead of red lipstick like you'll wear on recital day, that's your business and that's fine with me. All special accessories will be at the studio for your use. So for instance, if you're an owl in Mr. Robbie's class and you have owl wings, there will be owl wings for you. If you're in some of Miss Kylie's classes that have special headpieces or hats, those hats and headpieces will be there for you. We had a few different classes this week that needed to have hair pieces ordered for them. We realized we had a couple accessories that we didn't have, and so I've scrambled to get everything here on time, and I think we do have everything ready, whether it's ribbons or little sparkly clips or whatever. All these things are going to be set up on a table when you come to get your pictures taken, so you can add those things in.
And even if you don't feel like you can purchase costumes, we'd love for you to come and take a picture.
Purchase pictures, yeah. Yeah, actually, that's really important. Thanks for reminding me of that. We have our annual composite poster that's made of all the pictures of the students of ours that come to take pictures this weekend. And everybody that's participating in the recital. And we like to have everybody represented. I like all my dancers to show up on that composite so we remember who danced with us this year. So even if you're choosing not to purchase your pictures, come take the picture and just say, hey, we just want to do this so we can be on the poster. And Jim will say, okay, and take a super cute picture, and then you'll live on our studio walls forever. So please do that. All right. You watching that in case there's questions about pictures specifically?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to keep going if I can figure out how to do my slides the other way. I think I need to point this way. Guys, there we go. Boom. Okay. Costumes and changing. So, you know, this week has been our dress rehearsal in the studio. There we go. That's what I want. Okay, this week has been dress rehearsal in the studio. So all of your sewing should have been done by now. And you're a little bit in trouble with me because there was a lot of sewing that wasn't done. Uh-oh. Remember, safety pins are not allowed on stage, you guys. You don't want to move in a certain way that pulls that safety pin and pokes your little one or, you know, even teenager while they're dancing, and then you're
or rips the
in
costume,
pain.
frankly.
Well, that too. You don't want to have a safety pin stabbing you the whole time you're trying to do your dance and smile. So no safety pins on stage, guys. You need to thread that needle. You can do it. I promise I won't inspect your stitches. The main thing is to keep everything secure and make sure everything's laying flat. I think we had some collars that needed to be tacked down and some tutus that needed to be tacked together. Maybe you need to check your child's straps. That's where I'm short-waisted. I always have to take my straps up. So check your costumes. If there were any instructions, you need to make sure you follow those. I know my 210 Tuesday night junior prima jazz class, the dance is called Faith. We took a video of those sewing instructions yesterday. After we did our dress rehearsal, we realized we had something that needed to be adjusted. And so I'll email that out to you so you have those directions. Okay, your tights. We want to make sure that you have ordered your tights.
We just have a quick question.
Sure.
About the pictures. Are people that signed up for pictures have priority from those who are showing up without an appointment?
I'll say sure, but I hope we're all going to be friendly to everybody. All right. So for our tights, we want to make sure that you purchase your tights. Listen, guys, there's been a little bit of a tights debacle this year. Julian's, Miss Mary Pauline, who we love over at Julian's, she and I discussed a few times the name, the style name and the color name of these tights. And it turns out that there's a little bit of a mix up with that. So trust Miss Mary Pauline, the tights that she puts you in are appropriate. So she knows what the comparison brands and color names are. So if you go to buy tights and they're not the, you know, Capezio style 1916, then and she says, oh, these are block and they're the same color and they're going to be great. And I talked to Heather, trust her and buy what she tells you that you can get. Okay. Another note I want to give is changing backstage. This week was good practice for changing backstage because we had several opportunities where we had empty studio rooms available to use as a dressing room. And that sometimes it feels a little uncomfortable at first. We had a lot of students wanting to go to the toilet room to change their costumes. And I want to remind everybody that that's not going to be permissible at the Florida Theater. The dressing rooms are there for dressing rooms, and the rooms that have toilets in them are for going to the toilet. So please leave the toilet room available for people that need to go potty and change in the dressing room. There's lots of ways to do that and keep yourself modest. I'll tell you what, I always do this every year. I'm going to do it. I'm going to back this up and I'll stand up and show you. I'm in my shirt and check it out. I can pull my arms in like this, and I could pull my whole entire leotard down, and now I can pull my whole entire costume up. I can get my arms in my costume. And then, okay, I think I'm secure. So I'm going to put my arms back in my t-shirt, and then I can take my t-shirt off, and ta-da, my costume is on and nobody saw a single body part. So that's how you do it. Thank you for the applause. So I like to recommend wearing, maybe one of Dad's big button-up shirts. So you don't have to pull your t-shirt over your hair and makeup. And then that's really easy to sort of use as a way to get dressed underneath. And then you can just unbutton it and take it off when you got your costume on. And so anybody who's feeling a little extra modest, which I understand, that's a good way to deal with it. Nobody's looking, everybody's feeling a little bit like that. And you just turn and face the wall and you put your costume on real quick and it's over.
And practice at home if you feel like you are worried about that. Practice at home together.
So that's actually the next thing I was going to say. This is a great opportunity for parents to coach their children. So since we don't have a lot of, all the parents coming backstage to change their individual child, and we're going to talk more about that, that since that's not permissible, this is a great opportunity for you to do this at home and set up your costumes and your tights and figure out, what the order of your costume change is going to be, what the order of your tights change is going to be, and then let your child do it. And you can teach them how to pull the tights all together, gather them up at the toe, and then pull them up to their leg. You can teach them how to know whether the costume is forward facing or back, and use this as an opportunity to coach your child on changing their own costume. And then of course there's going to be staff members and volunteers backstage to help them and make sure that they're looking perfect to go out on stage. But it's sure helpful if they know how to get that baseline pulled on by themselves. I'll tell you, as a mom, I've got a 22-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter. So I'm getting to be dance mom for the first time. Actually, it's been kind of fun. When my son Dylan was in elementary school, he had a math teacher who at open house said, parents, leave the pencil in your child's hand. When you're helping them with their homework, they need to keep the pencil in their hand. And that was kind of, as a control freak over here, that was kind of a big deal, a big hit for me to realize, oh gosh, I probably take that pencil out of his hand to show him how to do it. But instead being patient to, allow him to keep that pencil in his hand and give him instructions, or maybe have my pencil next to him and show him on my paper while he's next to me doing the same steps that I'm taking, then it teaches him and it allows him to really connect with the instructions. So I would say the same thing about this coaching. Let your child do it. Let them struggle to get those tights on. That's how they learn. So that's my little soapbox about that. Everybody, make sure that you take that chance to practice.
And they'll feel so proud.
Right. These are the achievements that are gained through our dance training, not just learning to dance, learning to get dressed. And let's see, with regards to costuming and changing, I want to remind everybody that there's no panties to be worn under your costume. We're going to go through some more of these specific rules, but I do want to remind you about panties because you want to think of it as wearing a swimsuit. You don't wear panties with your bathing suit when you go swimming. It's the same thing. So make sure that you don't have your panties on, which I find to be a little more immodest actually, when they're hanging out your leotard, hanging out of your costume, you can see more panties. And that's, we don't want that look. We want to be nice and tidy. Okay, so that's what I have to say about changing backstage. Let's see. I keep going backwards. Let's see if I can go forward. There we go. What's in your recital packet? Just really briefly, make sure you guys are checking out your recital packet. We've been really excited to have the app this year and be able to update the recital packets instantly and have them at your fingertips. I updated the show order. So things that are in the recital packet, your general dates and info, we talked about that, we've talked about that 100 times this season. Your accessory list that we were just talking about, our tights and all the hair pieces and things like that. The accessory list especially identifies the tights color and the shoe color that your child should be wearing with their costume. And then the other thing that we updated last night is the June 2nd or 3rd schedule. So the rehearsal schedule and the real show schedule are different. And so you want to keep this one close by so that you know when your child's dance happens. We don't want them to miss their chance to be on stage. So make sure that you check out the recital packets. Just keep scrolling down until you see that, because I just like put it onto the end so that it's like just one big long document. And you can see that updated. By the way, don't judge me for the formatting. We're new to SharePoint. This has been a new transition for us from Google to SharePoint, and SharePoint's doing weird things with the formatting. And frankly, I don't have time to fight with it. So sorry. It looks real cute on my computer, and then I look at it on the app and it is all a little bit stupid. So,
but all the information
is there and everything's in order. So sorry if a name is like on the next line or something. It's just giving me a hard time. All right. Our tickets are only available through the Florida Theater box office. Call 355 Arts today. And seating is unlimited per family. You can buy as many tickets as you want. There's no limits on the capacity in the house. I want you to keep in mind that there is an upcharge for each ticket. It's the Florida Theater. If you purchase online, you're going to pay more. So I recommend that you call the box office and order online. This QR code, however, is the link to be able to purchase online if you'd like to do that. So if you want to go ahead and scan that code, it'll take you right to their website. For me personally, when I checked on this today, it did take a minute to load, and I don't know if that was my service, on my phone, or if it was their website. But if it takes a second, give it a second.
And it is assigned seating, so you'll be choosing your seats.
That's really important. Thanks. Yeah, it's assigned seating. So, you might want to go in there with an idea of where you want to sit, or if you pull up their seating chart online, which I think you can do through this link as well. Like you'd find it pretty fast. Then when you call the box office, you can tell them what seats you like, or if they're able to tell you, of course, they'll be able to tell you what seats are available, then you can make your selection. Okay. So I'm going to keep going. Hopefully everybody scan that QR code if you need to. Of course, you can just go to floridatheater.com and, and then I just went to the search bar on their homepage. I just went to the search bar and typed in my own name, Heather Loveland, and the tickets came right up. The link came right up. So it's easy peasy. It's no mystery there.
Make sure you choose the right day.
That's true. You'll see tickets for Sunday night or tickets for Monday night. Make sure you're choosing the one that your child is participating in. That would be a bummer. Okay. Before I get into the schedule, do we have any questions we need to address?
We just had someone talk about, can we double up on tights if that's a quick change issue?
That is super smart. Yes, that's one of our tricks of the trade backstage, you guys. So if your child has, even a relatively quick change, it's really smart to double up on tights. Sometimes the colors don't look right if you're going one direction or another. Like tan tights go under pink tights pretty well. Pink tights don't go under tan tights very well. It kind of makes the tan look a little funky. So again, practice at home and see what you think. And of course, I think we might have one class that's wearing black tights. So obviously those can't go under anything, but you could certainly put those over probably the pink or the tan. So try them on and practice and see what that looks like. That really does help to just be able to peel down one layer, and then the ones that you need are there on your legs already. So that's a really smart trick of the trade. Thanks for that reminder.
Good.
Okay, so let's talk about our performance day schedule, which I think is what we're really here to talk about today. So the update that I sent you on the app today is our rehearsal schedule and also our performance schedule. They are different, and I will tell you why. We want to get our youngest dancers out of the theater as early as possible. Of course, they have a little, less, well, they need a nap is what it is, I mean, I need a nap. I told Miss Bethany I needed a nap before we did this Zoom meeting, you guys. We want to get them out of there as soon as we can, give them that chance to eat, to rest before they have to come back around and do their performance. Conversely, the older girls probably want to sleep in. So they get that chance to sleep in a little bit later and then show up a little bit later. It kind of depends on what show you're in. I know that worked out really well with the 210 studio, the Fruit Cove studio. A lot of those older dancers have so many dances. It's really hard to organize the schedule without putting their dances back to back. So they may have to arrive a little bit earlier. So when you're looking at your rehearsal schedule, you'll see that it has, because you've all got the app. So when you open up your app and you go to your recital packet, I'm going to go to the 210 recital packet and I'm going to scroll way down, and it's going to show you that the rehearsal day schedule, it tells you that the dances with blue numbers 1 through 20 arrive at Florida Theater at 8 a.m. And then the dances with blue numbers 21 through 48 arrive at the Florida Theater at 11:30 a.m. So when you look at it, it's going to show you, let's see if I can show you on my phone. You probably can't see that at all because I'm sharing my screen. But if you go to your app and look at this, you're going to see the dance is like number 1 is in blue. It says it's Spinning Tops, and it says it's the real show number 2 in red. So you know that the real show, when we do it that night, it's going to be dance number 2. But we're practicing it first because they're young and we want to get these little kids out of the way. Okay. So, so you're looking at those blue numbers at the rehearsal schedule. Rehearsal schedule numbers 1 through 20 arrive at 8 a.m. We begin at 8:30. When you arrive, you get there with your costume on a hanger. Please don't come to the theater in your costume. We want to protect your costumes. We also want to stay super professional and keep our performance for the stage. So make sure you bring your costume with you. And I suggest that you come with your head all finished. So your hair is all done. Your makeup is all done. Maybe your first hairpiece is already attached to your hair. You can come with your tights on, and I suggest a leotard, just in case something goes amiss with a costume, you've got something to wear. So tights and leotard, head all finished, street shoes on, of course, your dance shoes in your dance bag with your other supplies like hairspray and red lipstick and a hairbrush and bobby pins. And then you come in, you're going to go up to your dressing room that is assigned to you. You're going to change into your first costume and leave all your belongings up in the dressing room, and you come down to the theater and sit in the theater. All the rows of seats will be labeled with a sign that says your dance name. So guess what? You all need to learn what the name of your dance is. So parents, this is another chance for you to coach your kiddos and look at your recital packet together and find your dance name. Now in the recital packet, we've listed the name of the dance with your class name, so it's easy for you to find. It's not going to be listed in the program that way that evening, but it is listed that way in our recital packet. So it should be something that's simple for you to find. And then that way you can really remember the name of your dance. I think at this point in the game, everybody pretty much knows the name of their dance because it usually sort of fits the song that you're dancing to. So you want to know the name of your dance and find the row that has that sign on it and sit in that row with all your friends. It'll be easy to find them because they're all going to look just like you in the same costume. So you sit there, and then Miss Heather gives a little bit of a speech. I'll make sure to talk to you guys, make sure you guys know what's happening. And then we'll begin our rehearsal, and we'll call you up a few rows at a time. That keeps us really organized. It keeps us flowing really smoothly so we can make this happen as quickly as possible and get you guys out as fast as we can. We want to make sure everybody has a reasonable amount of time on stage, but we also know that it's a long day and we want to, give you guys a chance to move along. So we want your cooperation in sitting with your classes so that we can easily call you up. We don't have to hunt you down in the theater, out in the lobby. We're not gonna do that. We expect you all to be seated with your class. In fact, the seating will be that the students will sit, if you're sitting in the auditorium facing the theater, the students are going to be on the left side of the auditorium, and the parents can all just go over and sit in the right and get your cameras ready so you can take pictures and videos of your child when they're on stage, especially because you can't do that evening. Phones are to be put away that night. So during the day, take all the pictures and videos you want. Okay, so you get called up for your dance, and when you're done, when each dance is finished, we'll say, okay, that class is dismissed. So if they have no further dances, you can go up to the dressing room, change back into your clothes, get your costume with you, take it out with you because we're not leaving things at the theater, and you can go home and rest and eat and all the things. If you have more dances after that first dance, that's your chance when you're dismissed to go back up to the dressing room, change into your next costume, leave your belongings up there again, and come down into the theater to sit with your next class and find that sign and the other matching costumes. And so we will dismiss you as we go that day. As we do each dance, we're gonna say, okay, you're done, and then you can go. And once we say you're dismissed, then you can leave. So I'm just gonna back up about a couple of things real quick as far as costumes go. Remember how I said everybody's gonna look just like you? They're gonna have a matching costume. They're also gonna have the same tights. They're also gonna have the same shoes. I also say everybody has the same panties from Target, everybody's got the same, I mean, I don't know what everybody's wearing. So recital t-shirt, the same recital t-shirt.
True.
What do you think I'm going to say? What do you think I'm going to say about it?
I think you're going to say, if you don't put your name on it, it's going to be ours.
It's true.
We won't know whose it is.
It's true. So label everything, even your recital t-shirt. Here's a trick. If you have something like a black collar like this, or like the inside of your jazz shoes or tap shoes that are black, you could do two things. You can put tape on the inside, like masking tape, and put your name on it, but you can also use a silver Sharpie, and that works great. And we keep those at the studio. So over the next week, as you're coming into the studio, just ask whoever is sitting at the desk, Miss Bethany or Mindy or Melissa or Miss Emily, Miss Katie, ask them, say, can I use your silver Sharpie, please? And they will say, certainly, and pass it over so that you can label your items. Okay.
It's like you've done this before.
I mean, y'all, did I tell y'all this is my 40th recital? Ouch. 40th. Yeah, it's a lot. I've done a lot of those. So, okay. So then here's how this goes. We hit 11:30, and everybody who has a dance that's on that rehearsal schedule, remember, I'm only looking at the rehearsal schedule right now with the blue numbers. The blue numbers, number 21 until the end, you're to arrive at the theater at 11:30. And you're going to do the same thing that I described before. You're going to come with your hair all done, your makeup all done, your head put together, your tights on, your leotard on, your street shoes on, your dance bag with all your supplies, and your costume on a hanger. You check in at the table, you come in, go to your dressing room, and get dressed in your first costume, come down in the theater, sit in the seats with your friends that are in your class, and wait to be called up. We're going to try to keep flowing as best we can. We do usually stop for lunch because the Florida Theater, wonderful backstage crew, is union, and they're working all day. They get up there at about 7 o'clock in the morning, and they're there until after we leave, they sweep us out. So they do need to stop for a lunch break. So
it would probably be a good idea for those girls that come at 11:30 to go ahead and eat something close to when they come in, so they don't have to do a lot of stopping.
That would be smart. Yeah, to go ahead and have lunch before you come if you're coming in late. If you're not, if you're there all day, we should pack a lunch. I have not researched to see what restaurants are nearby or what's open on Sunday, because being downtown, they might not be open on Sunday. So either do that research or, bring something. You may not have time. I always say, like, don't take the student with you if you're going to go get lunch. Like, if mommy or daddy goes to get lunch and brings it back, that's one thing. But I don't recommend the student leaving, because if the schedule picks up and the line at, Larry's Giant Subs is really long and you miss your chance to dance, that's going to be a real problem. So keep that in mind if you're going to go pick up lunch. Otherwise, pack a lunch, pack some snacks, pack some water bottles, pack, I always tell our advanced dancers to pack, like grapes, and like dried fruit is a great choice, because it really gets your blood sugar up when you need it to. Maybe some cheese, like Baby Bell cheese. We really need to make sure that we have no peanuts backstage. Now, I'm not going to say no peanuts if you got a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and you're sitting out in the lobby. I'm not going to stop that. But as far as backstage, don't have any peanuts backstage. It's real close quarters back there. So you want to bring your lunch and your water bottles. Since I'm talking about what's backstage, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, because I saved it for a different part of my presentation, but I'm going to talk about it now. Water bottles backstage. Here's what I have to say about it. Miss Mindy was real smart. She's the one that told me. And I'm gonna grab one and show you. Let's see if I pass the test. I don't know. Hopefully I have one close by. Oh, I have mine. Okay, here's my water bottle.
That's a good one.
All right, here's my water bottle. So here's the deal. My water bottle has to pass the blizzard test. You guys know what the blizzard test is? When you go to Dairy Queen and you order a blizzard, what's the test? They have to hand it to you upside down and make sure that it doesn't slide out, right? They stick the spoon in it and hand it to you upside down. Your water bottle has to pass the blizzard test. So see, this is the kind that pops open like with a straw like that. So I can put it down and then it's locked up and it doesn't leak out, right? So sorry, friends with a $40 Stanley. Stanleys are not permitted backstage. Hear my words. This is for the advanced dancers especially, although I don't know. I see everybody with a Stanley. No Stanleys backstage. And by the way, you're welcome because I already got one from the Spring Sparkle Showcase that doesn't have a name on it. Anybody missing a white Stanley? You're probably not on this meeting because you probably are already done with your recital. But things get left backstage, and if your name isn't on it, you're going to lose it. So you've lost that investment and you've spilled water all over the costumes. Those Stanleys tip over constantly at the studio and they're constantly spilling water out. So I'm going to put my foot down about that. And if you walk into the green room backstage with a Stanley, I'm going to turn you around and have you take it back to mommy because there's no Stanleys backstage. So just remember, your water bottle has to pass the blizzard test, everybody, if you're going to bring a water bottle backstage. Okay. So we made it to lunch that day. We will hopefully only have to stop for half an hour for lunch so we can really keep the rehearsal going on time. And we'll just continue down a list of dances and dismissing dancers as you finish your dance. So as you're looking at your recital packet and your rehearsal schedule, you can see like if you're sort of like the earlier part of the day or the later part of the day, you'll kind of know where you're going to fall into that schedule. We're really hoping for 3 o'clock estimated end of rehearsal, but we just never know. Even though it feels like it's just a dress rehearsal for us, it's actually a technical rehearsal. So, professionals would say this is a tech rehearsal, not just a dress rehearsal, but a tech rehearsal. So that means that we're there for the technical crew to write the lighting cues for each dance. And that sometimes takes a little bit of time for them to put those cues into the computer so that it's saved with the timing of the music. So then the lights happen just on time as they're supposed to, and the magic looks so beautiful on stage. So that, takes a couple minutes. So that's what's going on stage. And it's really a special thing. I will have you know, I pride ourselves on performing at the Florida Theater because it's such a beautiful, historic, landmark in our city. Such a great theater. But I'll tell you what's just as great, even better, is I thought I paused everybody. What's just as good or even better is the crew. Saul, who's their backstage manager, he's more than a backstage manager now. I think he's the technical director. He is let's see, did I get everybody muted? Okay. He was there for my very first recital at the Florida Theater. My first recital at the Florida Theater was 1986, and he was there. He's still working there today. He's still the guy in charge. He's fabulous. He's amazing. And our lighting director, Nick, also was there in 1986. He is known in the city of Jacksonville as being the best lighting designer. I also know he's trying to retire. And you know what? He's not doing any recitals this season except ours. So we have the best guy in the business lighting our show. So we're going to make sure that we give him a chance to do that. And that's what's going on stage that day. That takes a little bit of time. Okay, so we made it to the end of rehearsal. What do? You want to go home and eat and hydrate and take a nap. I'm not going to lie. I have a hotel room. I'll be there all the live long day. Some of our dancers that have 12 or 16 dances also have a hotel room down the street. It just makes it kind of convenient. So you want to make sure that you hydrate, you rest, you eat, and touch up your hair and makeup.
Ms. Heather, how do you know when it's time for your dancer to leave? When it's time in the rehearsal for your dancer to leave.
Miss Heather or your teacher is going to speak into the microphone, or if you're actually, I would probably yell out and say, okay, let's say they're the spinning tops. Spinning tops are dismissed. Thank you very much. See you tonight. I might say, okay, so spinning tops did a really good job. I noticed that their hair bows are falling off, so we need extra bobby pins. Some children didn't have enough lipstick, so make sure you touch up your lipstick. And Susie Q didn't have the right color tights, so mommy, go get her the right color tights before tonight. Okay, now you're dismissed to go home, and I'll see you tonight at 6 o'clock. So that's what you'll hear from one of your teachers, okay? That's how you know it's your turn to leave. And again, remember, if I dismiss you and you have more dances, that's your cue to go change into your next costume, okay? Do we have any more questions before I go on to our evening story?
Hi, Heather.
Hey.
I have a quick question. So I'm looking at the recital packet and I see all the dance names with the blue numbers and everything. And the red names where it says real show to real, those are the real show, right? Those are the recital,
Yes.
right? Yeah, I'm not
That's
getting it wrong. So some of the numbers are not similar, like you said, because it's a different order for the real show.
That's correct. And if you
Okay.
keep scrolling down in your recital packet, you're going to see below the rehearsal schedule, you will see the actual, I think I put real show order of appearance is what I listed it as. And then you'll see the actual way that the dances are going to run that night.
Oh, yeah,
when we really
yeah,
do
yeah.
the program.
All the
You
way
see
down.
that?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I got
Yep,
it.
you got it. Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you for that question. So hopefully that is clear for everybody.
We have one more here, Heather, that says if the child is only performing in one dance, do they still need to change at the theater, or can they come in their costume?
So please don't come or go in your costume. Thank you for that question. It's really important. We want to make sure we're protecting our costumes and that we stay professional by keeping those costumes off the streets, friends.
There's too much risk involved with that.
Yeah, right.
Miss Heather?
All right. So yeah, you're gonna change and then go home. Yes, ma'am.
I have a quick question. So, for the older girls that are starting in the 11:30 a.m. section, you said
Mhm.
numbers 21 to the end. Actually, a good
Right.
number of those in number 20 are actually those same girls. They don't need to show up at 8, do they? Like number 20
No.
is like where that age group starts, not 21. So are you gonna start
Okay.
actually dancing
So let's say 20.
at 11:30?
Yeah, let's say that. I mean, because it's an estimate.
Okay.
So I can't specify that like we'll be exactly there. So let's say that's fine. 1 through 19 come at 8 o'clock and 20 through the end come at 11:30. I'll agree with that in my recital packet. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for that. And by the way, because I'm not sure who's speaking to me, is this Fruit Cove or 210?
I apologize. It's Fruit Cove. It's McKenna's mom. It's Fruit
Oh,
Cove.
okay. Oh, okay. Okay, perfect.
So,
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep. I appreciate that. Okay. Are we ready to move on? What you got there? Anything else?
What is the real time for the evening show?
Okay. So let's move on. So our call time that night is 6 p.m. sharp. See all my capital letters, all dancers. I have all other, I don't know what that is. Anyway, all dancers arrive at the stage door at 6 p.m. sharp. You're going to check in at the stage door. You're going to go to your dressing room. You're going to put on your costume and you're going to wait until we begin the show. At 6:30 p.m., that's when the theater house doors open. So that's when the audience can go in. At 7 p.m., the performance begins, and we have about a 3-hour run time. I know, last year we had a really long performance because we had that beautiful ballet, The Sleeping Beauty, that I'm so proud that we were able to present. And so this year we don't have as many plot lines to follow that make it go a little bit quicker. So our recital performance runtime is about 3 hours. That's including, the intermission. So, and that's an estimate. Okay, so let's talk about how this is going to work. Here is a picture of the Florida Theater, the front of the Florida Theater. You can see here in the front. This is a little bit old because we have, we have security set up at these doors now that you have to walk through. So if you look over here, let's see, This little proscenium around the doorway, you see sort of the little gray doorway here, that's the box office. And just to the right, just off the screen here, just off of where this picture is taken, this area, this is the stage door. This is where dancers need to report. So you're going to come to the stage door and there will be a line there, and you stand in line so that you can check in. It's very important to us that we keep our security tight. And I will tell you that there's nothing that I get more poignant and passionate about on recital day than our security backstage. It is very important to me. I will also tell you that a large portion of the bill at the Florida Theater is security. And that is to ensure that our dancers are safe. It's also ensures that our audience is safe. And so the dancers check in here. So here's the deal with check-in. You check in at the door, you're going to give your name, you get your dressing room assignment that morning. So when you come back that evening, you're going to know exactly where to go. And you walk across the stage and you go up to your dressing room and you get dressed. If you are core level 1 through 4, your dressing room is going to be in the basement. Those children, being the youngest students, are the ones that are allowed to be escorted by a parent down to the basement. So if you are level 4, 5 or up, you don't need a parent. Mommy can kiss you goodbye at this door and you can check in and you can walk yourself up to the theater. Because remember, you did that already that morning. So you're strong and brave and you know exactly where to be and you're with all your friends and nobody is there except dancers and staff and the volunteer parents. So we're going to make sure you get exactly where you need to go and you can carry your items upstairs to your dressing room and get dressed. And if you need help, there's going to be the staff and volunteers available to help you. And mommy or daddy is going to kiss you goodbye right here. And then they walk along this sidewalk here and come to go through security and present your ticket and enter through the main doors so that you can go sit in the audience in your seats. If you're in that younger group, the level 1 through level 3, 4, then your female adult may escort you back. And I'm going to say female adult because, you know, since we're all changing backstage, it's important that we don't have any men coming backstage into the changing areas. So if your child is in the basement down there with level 1 through level 3, 4, only a female adult can escort the child back to the backstage. So what you get to do is you get to walk back there. We're actually going to give you a red lanyard. And I'll tell you why in just a minute. I mean, that's your permission to come backstage. So we know that you've got Miss Heather's approval to be backstage. So you escort your child down to their dressing room and you can set them up and you can get them dressed into their first costume and make sure that they're all, you know, put together. They've gotten their red lipstick touched up. They're there with their friends. They're there with the staff members. You feel secure that your child is being looked after. And you see that, and as soon as possible, that's when you kiss your child goodbye and you turn around and you walk out the same way you came in. You're not going to go down into the theater house. You're going to come across the stage again. The curtain's closed, of course. You're going to walk across the stage, come out this stage door, just like you went in. You'll walk down the sidewalk, come through security, enter through the main doors of the Florida Theater, present your ticket, and then you can find your seat with your party to watch the show. So that's how check-in happens at 6 o'clock sharp. Okay.
And at that time, you stay in the dressing room. That morning, we came out to sit in the audience, but that night, we'll stay in the dressing room once you get up there.
That's exactly right. So once you get up to your dressing room, then you stay. Okay. And that's when the grown-ups leave. And like I said, if your child is older than level, 4, 5 and up, they go into school every day by themselves. They know where to go. So it's going to be the same thing. Okay, so now that we have a lay of the land here with what the front of the Florida Theater looks like and where your stage door check-in is, I'm going to take you to the next little bit.
Someone's asking about parking.
We do have a question about parking. Okay, so let me back up then to this picture. So at the Florida Theater, first of all, those in the Sunday show, parking should be a breeze because there will be free street parking. So lucky day. kind of across from the stage door here, over here, across Forsyth Street is a parking lot, and it is pay per tag. So you're going to park your vehicle, and then you go to the little kiosk and you pay, you put in your license plate number and you pay. Diagonally across, this is Noonan Street right here, the corner here. This is Forsyth Street in front of the Florida Theater. The street running perpendicular to the Florida Theater is Noonan Street. So over, like, diagonally across from this Florida Theater sign on Noonan Street is a parking garage that will also be open, and that is paid parking also. And I want to say it's like $10 a day. So plan on that. If you can find street parking, that's great too. You definitely want to plan for the time that it takes to park. If you're lucky enough to have, more than just you and your child in your party, maybe daddy can drop you off right here in front of the stage door. Even if you're a young one, let mommy and child off here to go in the stage door while daddy goes to park. And then by the time mommy's finished dressing your child and comes out, then you're meeting up at the door here. Or maybe he's already gone in and gotten a seat and you go meet him. If you're an older student, same thing. Maybe mom and dad or whoever's bringing you drops you off at this door, and then they can go park. So then the student can get on her way to get into the theater for her call. Okay. Do keep in mind, people in Fruit Cove performance, that it is Monday, so it is like a work day. I do feel like we need to be cognizant of, rush hour in the morning, parking during the day, and then rush hour coming back as well. So please plan accordingly. Keep an eye on, your Google Maps and see what's going on, so that you don't get stuck in traffic. I do think that morning you're going to be coming in with the rush hour. That evening, hopefully it'll be a little bit easier because people are going to be coming south instead of north. You're going to be heading north toward the Florida Theater while everybody's coming home from work going south. So, I don't want to jinx it, but knock on wood, it'll flow smoothly enough. One good thing is school will be out by then. Is Duval County schools out by then? Okay, so school will be out. So that does create a good relief in the traffic flow, even on 95. It's just fewer cars out on the road, Okay. Miss Bethany, are you watching these chats? Because I haven't looked, so I've got like 58 here, but you're keeping an eye on it. Okay, Miss Bethany's watching the chat, so feel free to put your questions and things in the chat, you guys. We're going to try to keep tabs on them. Okay, so I've got a little bit more to talk about with this check-in and dressing room situation for the evening. So let's go to this next slide. Here's the deal. We have volunteers backstage and staff. I really should say staff and volunteer assignments here. Staff and volunteers have been assigned. And by the way, if you are a volunteer, we are very swiftly here working to get out a little information for you guys, so that you know where your assignment is, what your expectations are. We're going to have a little Zoom meeting next Thursday that's real short, just to make sure everybody knows exactly what's expected of you. And we have lots of comprehensive lists. Let me tell you, we know all the children who are supposed to be in each dressing room. We know everybody who only has one dance. We know everybody who has more than one dance. We know everybody who has a quick change. In fact, you want to see, I'll show you actually on my phone in our group, our staff text tonight. I'm just going to brag on our amazing staff. We had this picture was sent in of, can you see it, of Miss Laura and Miss Brooke spread out on the studio floor, going through the program, working through all the quick changes, making notes and assigning the quick changers to each child that has a quick change, making sure they've mapped out where that quick change happens on the side of the stage, so everyone's accounted for and that they will be managed. So it is a science. We have quite a comprehensive plan prepared for everybody. So each dressing room will be well staffed, primarily with our HLDA staff, and then with additional parents as well, to help everybody change and be where they need to be. And so we'll have a good system for that. Your dressing room assignments will be given that morning when you check in early in the day. The dressing rooms are going to be color coded, so you'll know, like for instance, the basement is red, so you're going to go down to the red dressing room, which is the basement, and So you'll know your dressing room assignment once you check in and go to your dressing room that morning. So it'll be real easy to find that evening. Okay. You're basically going to be with all your classmates. So don't feel like you're going to be alone. We really want to keep you all together as a group. So when we call your class down to the stage for your dance, you all come down together in a group and we're not hunting anybody down. So there's that you're going to be with your friends. Okay. So here is the anomaly. It's right here. If your child has only one costume, just one, then
Which is great.
It is great. Then you have a special plan. And I want to preface this by saying, remember, you're going to go that morning and get to do a whole walkthrough in the theater and find out where you're supposed to go and what you're going to do. So it's going to feel, a little, you may not know the lay of the land right now, but once you get there, you'll know. So if your child has only one costume, you're going to come in the stage door and check in just like everybody else. You're going to walk through the theater. So right here, this is the stage. If you're looking at my slide, we have the stage here. You're going to actually walk through, because you come in over here at the stage door, you're going to walk through the stage and you're going to come down into the theater and you're going to walk down the aisle in the theater. The house is closed at this point, so nobody else is there watching you walk down the aisle. It's just the people walking down the aisle. You're going to go out the doors. You're going to go up into the balcony. It's really not the balcony. You're going up into the second floor lobby, the second floor lobby. And in the second floor lobby area is this room called the Barnett Room. The Barnett Room is like a banquet room, and it has bathrooms in it. And we use it as like an overflow dressing room before the show begins. So if your child has only one costume, you're going to check their, depending on, regardless of their, let's see, let me try to figure this out. So I'm going to say, regardless of their age, you can walk them to the Barnett Room and make sure that they get there. So you can escort your child up to the Barnett Room. There, they get to get dressed into their first costume. And you're going to leave your belongings in that room. Well, the student will leave their belongings in there. So their dance bag, that has their supplies, maybe their garment bag that had their costume in it. Your street clothes. You're going to leave that in the Barnett Room, which is your dressing room, right? And so now you've dressed in the Barnett Room, you're totally ready to be on stage. Your dance shoes are on and everything. And from there in the Barnett Room, here's what happens. If your child is in the first act, they will be escorted to the backstage area. If you look right here, there's this little dotted line here. Right from here, there is a catwalk that goes, it's like a secret passage that goes into the dressing rooms backstage. So they're going to be escorted by our staff backstage to go meet up with their friends and be with their group, with their class, so that they are ready to go on stage when they're called. If they are only in the second act, then they do the same thing. They come to the Barnett Room. They're going to get completely dressed, ready to go on the stage. And then just before the performance begins, our staff will escort them to the balcony. And this section right here, B500, this section is only for our HLDA dancers. So they get to sit here in the balcony and watch the first half of the show. They get to watch Act 1. And it really just helps to, for one thing, entertain them, because that's really fun to be able to watch the show. And it also helps to just relieve a little bit of the, the crowdedness in the dressing rooms backstage. The one thing about the Florida Theater is the dressing rooms are very small. They're very narrow. They are like chorus rooms. So, and by that it's like chorus dancers. So they're long, like hallway type of shaped rooms. So there's not a lot of room to move around. There's not a lot of room for people's belongings. And that's why it helps for you to keep your belongings in that Barnett Room. Like I said, the staff will then escort you to the balcony. We have lots of staff and volunteer who will sit there with the students. So mom and dad are sitting down here in this red orchestra section. And then the students that are only in Act 2 with one costume will be sitting up here in B500.
And they do not need a ticket.
Right. Yeah, no, that's reserved just for our dancers. Okay. So then we have intermission. At intermission, here's what happens. You remember how I told you the kids that are in one dance and in the first act went backstage? Well, we're going to line them up. We're going to bring them to the balcony. And the kids that are sitting in the balcony, we're going to line them up and bring them backstage. So then they're ready to do their dance. And then the kids that already did their one dance gets to sit in the balcony and watch the second act of the show. Okay. So we do that completely with our staff and our volunteers. We request that you not come up there and meet your child. And if you see in red, no pickup from the balcony. Okay. We want to make sure we keep everybody accounted for. This is, like I said, I get very, very finicky about this. We have to keep everybody safe. I not only want your children safe, I also don't need to have my life flash before my eyes when we think we're missing a student, even if they are safe with you. If you escape with your student and I don't know that and I think they're missing, please don't give me a heart attack on recital night, okay? And I'm really not making light of that. It's actually a terrifying experience. So we always check our students out, and the balcony is not the place. It's not going to happen. Okay. So that special little scenario is only for students that have one costume. So it's really easy. If you have more than one costume, where do you go? You're going to go across the stage into your dressing room. If you only have one costume, where do you go? You're going to go across the stage and up into the Barnett room. And from there, we can handle it. Okay, we've got you from there. Okay, so this year is going to be really special. So every year we have a bow at the end of the show. And that bow is usually only the second half students. Because, you know, usually I do like a story ballet first, then we have intermission, and then everybody in the second half of the show that's like jazz and tap and acro and all that stuff, they get to bow at the end. Well, this year is really special because it's our 10-year anniversary. And with that, we want everybody on stage to celebrate, and we're going to have a balloon drop. And the kids are really excited about that. I've been telling them we're having a balloon drop, so you want to be on stage for your bow for the balloon drop. So what we're going to do is at the end of the show, like a few dances before it finishes, all the children that are seated up here in this B500 section waiting because they've already danced, they're going to be lined up, and they get to sneak backstage and line up to be on the in the bow. So they'll be on the stage all together for the balloon drop. So that's going to be really special. So with me, everybody with me? So everybody's on stage right now. All the dancers are on this stage. All the parents are sitting in the red section, likely, maybe the yellow. I don't know if y'all got balcony seats or not. I haven't looked. My favorite seats are right here in the loge. Those are my favorite seats. So, okay, so your student is on the stage. You are seated in the theater. The curtain goes down. We had the balloon drop. Everybody got their flowers. Everybody took a bow. Everybody's cheering. And the curtain goes down. Then what? What do? I'll tell you what. Stay in your seats, parents. What happens backstage is we dismiss the students in a very organized fashion back to their dressing rooms. They go back to their dressing rooms to gather their belongings. Of course, they can change into their street clothes. If at this point the show is over, so if they don't want to change and they want to just come out in their costume, hip, hip, hooray. That's great. Do it. Take pictures when they come out and whatever. So I don't care about that, but you do need to gather your belongings. And then you're going to come out this door right here. It comes out right on stage right. So it'll be to the parents' left when you're looking at the stage. There's a little blue door right here that a security guard sits at, by the way. So you don't get to enter in that door unless I gave him your name. So this little blue door right here is where all the students will come out, and they're going to come out into the theater, and, you know, you wave at them. Yay, hey, Susie Q, come over here. And then you go over and she gets to smile and hug and, oh, you did such a good job. And here's your flowers, and hug grandma and take a picture, and hopefully move out and come into the, you know, lobby area and take some pictures. The Florida Theater is so beautiful. You want to do pictures in that area. So that's where you're going to find your child.
Another training thing you could do is maybe give your child an idea of where you'll be sitting.
That is helpful. Yeah, when you're there that day. Keep in mind, guys, you pick your kids up from school, you know, in the car line and all that kind of stuff. You'll
They're
find your
looking for
kids.
you.
You're in this one room. They don't have anywhere to go.
They're only coming out one door.
That's right. They're only coming out one door. So that means even the students who walked up to the Barnett room and left their belongings there, remember them? They're backstage too. So they're going to come out this door right here. They can meet you. Hey, mom. Hey, dad. Oh, you did such a good job. Yay. Okay, we took all our pictures. So then you can go up to the Barnett room with your child to gather their belongings, and then you can leave. Okay. So everybody meets their child here in the theater house at the end. That's not true.
Yeah, except for
except for my basement kids. That sounds terrible.
it's really not a basement. We're in Florida. It's
Right.
under the stage.
It's under the stage is where this dressing room is. And remember, those were the only students that I said their female adult could escort them to their dressing room and help them get dressed. And remember, they have a red lanyard. So that red lanyard is going to get you in the stage door after the show. So once the curtain goes down, if your child is in that red dressing room, and you'll know, because remember, we did it all that morning. So if your child, and you took them back there before the show began, if your child is in the red dressing room, you are going to walk out of the theater, just like you went in, like out the main doors, walk down that sidewalk and into the stage door, the same place you dropped them off or walked them in that morning and that evening at 6 o'clock. You're going to get to walk across the stage because you have a red lanyard on, because there's a security guard sitting here as well outside. By the way, that's Jackie. Jackie sits outside and she is paid to keep all of us safe. So please don't try her. Please be nice to her. Please thank her. Please, bring her a Snickers bar. I don't know, but please be nice to her. If she tells you no and does not let you backstage, that's because she's keeping you safe. She's keeping your kids safe. She's keeping us safe. And she wants to make sure that everybody's doing right. She is the best rule follower I have ever met in my life. And I am a rule follower. So she's my kind of girl. All right. So back to you, red dressing room parents. You're going to come out here and enter at the stage door, walk across the stage, go down to your child's dressing room, and there you help them gather their things and get them changed. And you get to walk out with them into the theater house like this to meet the rest of your family. Okay, so it's a really easy pattern. Here's the deal. Backstage is very narrow. Like I said, those chorus rooms are very narrow. There's also, 3 flights of stairs that are going up to the dressing rooms. And so, and they're narrow, right? So when the show is over, once we've dismissed the students to go to their dressing rooms, we have one direction for the flow of traffic, only one direction. So no parents are going up those stairs to get their child. We can't have it. We'll all fall down the stairs.
It's so steep.
And they're steep, they're slippery. It's a tricky thing. So no parents are going up the stairs. Students are coming down the stairs. The parents that are coming into the basement, please be patient as we have a bit of a bottleneck. It's more than a bit of a bottleneck. It's a big bottleneck, and you'll see it when you get there. This turn, when you go from the stage down around to the dressing rooms around this corner, is tight. And so we've got all the kids coming down. They're all coming down to go out into the theater. And those basement parents have to come in to go around the corner, and it gets tight. So we have to have a little traffic control there. So we only let, basement parents down, the red dressing room parents down, a handful at a time. We have to stop traffic and then let the kids, and then let the parents, and then let the kids. So if everybody will just put on their best happy face and remember the joy that they just saw on stage and stay patient, I promise you that your child will be there ready for you when you get down to the red dressing room so that you can help them change and you guys can go home. And then that's it. Then you get your flowers and you take your pictures and you blow me a kiss, and I'll see you at summer camp. And it's great. So, so as this says here, all dancers are picked up from the front of the house or in the basement with a lanyard. So that's only for those basement students. Okay, so that's kind of this is the big thing that I like to go over in this Zoom meeting, is these logistics for the evening, because we want it to all go smoothly. We want everybody to stay happy and calm. Remember that our staff and the Florida Theater staff are at work that day. So we appreciate you coming on time, but not early, because we have to get to our places. The Florida Theater staff has to get to their places. Those guys have to have a dinner break before we start the show again. Even in the morning, Saul and his crew, they have to get there real early. They're setting up the lighting and doing all kinds of things. They're at work, and so is the HLDA staff. So let's try to remember that and come promptly on time, but not too early, so that you allow us to get in our positions ready to receive your children, so we can keep our security strong. Okay.
Because we'll only open those doors when those doors are open.
Actually, that's true. I am not the rule. I'm not the person that says when the doors open to the stage door. Saul is. The theater is, the Florida Theater is not mine. It is Saul's. Saul is in charge backstage. He's the one that says, okay, Heather, we can open the door. So don't be mad at me.
Yeah, if you come early, you're going to be in a line outside, and it's hot, and
And
your
you're gonna
makeup will
sweat.
melt, and
Yeah.
it'll be miserable.
Right. Okay. How are we feeling about that, guys? Think to yourself, does my child have one costume or more than one costume? If my child only has one costume, where do I go? I'm going to take them up to the Barnett room. If my child has more, did I just say the right thing? My child has only one costume, I'm going to take them up to the Barnett room. If my child has more than one costume, where am I going to go? Well, I'm more than likely going to stay right here and kiss them goodbye while they're big kids and walk themselves to their dressing room. But if they're little kids, you walk them back here to the dressing room. Okay. And then you go, everybody goes, all the grownups go back out and into the theater. All right. Yeah,
That's gonna help make everything so smooth that day. If everybody can just follow all those rules, it's gonna go smoother.
That's right. That's right. I teased it at the Spring Sparkle Showcase that I'm a recovering perfectionist. It's a real burden to carry in life. But I'll tell you what, it makes me a real rule follower. And so I would like the same courtesy and ask you all to follow the rules, because it is for your children's safety. That is truly my utmost priority on recital day, is your child's safety. That includes the safety on the stairs with people moving in one direction and moving, slow enough to keep us at a safe pace. It includes keeping those doors locked with security guards around them, so that every time that door opens, it is an opportunity for a child to escape. And children will think, oh, I'm just going to go tell my mom something, or, oh, I'm going to go give my mom this thing that I brought backstage that, whatever. Like, no, mommy's going to stay in her seat, and dancers are going to stay backstage. And I'll tell you what, parents, the quicker you leave, the better your child's emotional state will be. They get nervous, they're excited, they might feel a little bit nervous about being left without you. It's okay. They're left with us at dance class every week, and you're just in the next room. It's really through a door, just through a door. Mommy's just in the next room, and we will keep your child safe. But it's much easier for us to manage your child's emotions and nerves and nervousness if you aren't around. You all know that as adults, right? Like, if I'm feeling upset and I want to cry and I'm holding it in, and then I come home and I see my husband or my sister or my mom or my best friend, I'm going to hug them and I'll burst into tears then, right? But before that, I'm being strong and nobody knows I'm upset, right? So if, the coping mechanisms that we have are in a lot better control when mommy is at bay, frankly. So that's another position I take on that. So help us help you, and walk away.
And I
Miss
promise
Heather,
we are
I
doing.
had a quick question regarding
Yes,
about the basement. How do we know that our kids are supposed to be in the basement or not? I have an older child and a younger child, so that way I know where I so that morning I know
Sure.
what I need to do.
Sure. When you check in that morning, and you check in and give your last name, and I guess you've got two kids, so you're going to give last name and then first names. You're going to say, okay, go find your dressing room. You're going to go, you're not going to miss like where everybody's going. You're going to go up towards the dressing rooms, and there we're going to have signs posted. So you will know, you're going to look for your dance name. So like all the dances that are in the red dressing room are going to be posted on a red poster, and it's going to say, go in this dressing room. And if you don't see yourself on the red poster, you go, okay, I'm going to keep going upstairs until I see my dance. And so so that's how you're going to know and you'll do that morning, and there's lots of time that morning. I mean, yes, we want to get started, but like you're going to be able to walk in and like get oriented and see where you are and understand what's happening. Staff will be lining the pathway to all the dressing rooms, helping you find your dressing room. So by that evening, there will be no question. You'll know exactly where to go. So yeah, upon check-in that morning is when you get your dressing room assignment, and you'll know where to go.
Okay.
Does that
thank
clear
you.
that up? You're welcome.
Yes.
So if you do have two kids, like a younger child and an older child, they won't be together. That younger child will likely be in the red dressing room downstairs, and your older child will be upstairs in another dressing room. There's 3 floors of dressing rooms above the stage, and then there's the 1 floor below. So yeah, they'll be in with their age group.
Okay, 2 things here, Miss Heather.
Okay.
Can we please reiterate that kids need to bring a water bottle and dry snacks during the show for backstage as well as rehearsal?
Oh yeah, thank you, Miss Katie, for reminding me of that. Miss Katie is our lead basement staff member. We have many staff members down there. She's our lead in the basement. And those young kids down there, might get a little thirsty and a little hungry. And although HLDA does bring some snacks and some water bottles, and there's water fountains, we do actually encourage you to go ahead and pack a dry snack with your child if they're downstairs. Remember, we want to be peanut free and we want to be mess free. So my recommendations are pretzels, goldfish, Cheez-It crackers, and the like. Not anything that's going to be sticky or runny or gooey or anything like that, right? Because we don't want anything on costumes.
Dye fingers.
Yeah, dye fingers like Cheetos, anything with cheese dust, please. Like, oh my God, no. Because those dry snacks are going to be things that aren't going to mess up their makeup or their costume or their fingers. And remember that the water bottle that they bring has to pass the blizzard test. So you have to be able to turn it over and not have any leaking to bring it backstage. We'll stop you at the door and collect it if it turns over and leaks, because we just can't have it backstage, guys. But that's a really important thing. Thanks, Miss Katie, for reminding me of that. So you may bring those snacks and drinks, and we that as long as they follow my rules about them. Okay.
And I also say that I know it feels really late for a lot of those younger kids, but honestly, we're having a party back there.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
We are having so much fun.
And if y'all saw the videos, like,
yes, great.
Adrenaline is pumping. The kids are excited. They're with all their friends. They can hear the music in their dressing rooms. And I'm telling you, they're having dance parties in the dressing rooms. It's so much fun. It's like Christmas. And so letting your kids stay up
all year long for those.
They did. They worked hard all year long. And, we let our kids stay up for Christmas or something like that. Maybe they stay up and spend the night with their cousins and they have a late night sleepover, that kind of thing. It's that sort of feeling, that sort of vibes backstage. Yeah. And it's really fun. So, I always say this every year. I say, parents, the bar is open. Go get a drink, sit in the theater, enjoy the show, and know that your kids are having a party backstage.
And they're safe.
So, it's really a great time. And this year, since it's our celebration, it's going to be a very entertaining show, lots of variety, ballet, jazz, tap, modern, everything all mixed up. And so it's going to, I think, be a real fun experience for the audience to watch too. Okay.
And one last quick question. It says, can we cover what we can bring into the theater? Are there any rules about small purses or things to keep guests checking in, moving quickly?
That's a great question. So, and in fact, I want to talk about that with the people coming into the house and the people in backstage. So, back in COVID times, we did have a whole like security check your bag thing. Like they were saying, like, don't bring bags in and stuff like that. I actually think that was closer to, there was a theater, there was a nightclub incident that I think caused that more than anything. Nowadays, they don't really have restrictions on the bags.
They will check them.
But they will check them. So remember how I said when you're coming into those main doors at the Florida Theater, you're going through security. So the less you have on your person, the better.
The quicker the line moves.
Now the dancers that come in through the stage door, they're not having their belongings searched. So although I probably should be searching for
other than water bottles,
peanuts and Stanley cups, but
I'll get them when they come to the green room.
But their belongings are not being searched, so we can get the dancers checked in. So yes, they can bring in their dance bags and their costumes. I do want to say, please don't bring the big fat suitcases that you can't lug up the stairs. We had to have staff members help a couple students last year bring their gigantic suitcases upstairs. Let's leave those at home, guys. And bring your dance bags and maybe, trim the fat with the excessive, supplies. So, so checking in the front, if you have your little handbag, you should be fine. It shouldn't be too much of an issue. What can I bring backstage though? Do you remember what I said? One of the things you can bring backstage is your Blizzard Check water bottle. Blizzard Check water bottle. You can bring your dry snacks. You can bring your dance bag that has your extra pair of tights, your dance shoes, your hair pieces, extra bobby pins, hairspray, red lipstick, any of those kinds of supplies. It's also real fun if you maybe bring a deck of cards or a coloring book or not markers, but crayons, right? Or something like that, something to keep your child entertained. That's super fun. And so that's welcome as well, because, we do have a dance party going on back there. It's also kind of fun to have game time. So
I suggest no iPads or things like that, necessarily big things that might be
liabilities.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to lose them,
lose them or, break them. We try to keep everybody, but we can't guarantee that for sure.
Right. Additionally, you don't want to bring, so we talked about what we do want to bring. We don't want to bring, so we just said it, tablets, iPads, things like that. Jewelry. Leave your jewelry at home. No jewelry is permitted on stage, so let's leave it at home. Also, we talked about panties. So even if you come in your panties and your street clothes, make sure that those are labeled too, because you're going to take those off and put on your costume. You don't want to bring, you don't want to have nail polish on. You see my neutral nails, you almost can't even see them. I got them done for the Spring Sparkle Showcase because I had to perform on stage. So I got my hot pink Barbie nails changed out for neutral nails. So
how do you feel about glitter, Miss Heather?
Y'all, oh my God. I'm in this dance. I'm performing in the 210 recital on Sunday night. I put myself in the dance after I had a student drop out and we already had the choreography going.
You get to see it.
So I'm dancing. We're doing a ballet dance to the song I Want to Dance with Somebody, because that's like my favorite Whitney Houston song. And this costume, it's a big gold dress. It is a freaking glitter bomb. I'm telling you, I'm never going to get this glitter out of my studio. These costumes rained glitter. We even had one of our moms, Miss Walston, help shake out the costumes outside, spray them down with hairspray in an attempt to keep the glitter on. And still, if I'm going to post these pictures on our Facebook, I'm going to post the pictures of my dance floors covered in glitter. Even after I dust mopped them, there's piles. I had piles of glitter all around the edges of the studio floor, and the studio floor still looked like it had never been swept. So please, y'all, please don't bring any glitter. No glitter. There's no glitter on your body. We don't need to put glitter on.
Don't spray it in your hair.
Don't spray it in your hair. None of that. You may wear little stud earrings, like little rhinestones. You may wear those if you wish, or if you need to keep studs in your ears, that's fine. You can have clean nail polish. And I'll tell you what else, if you're in a dance that is barefooted, please take the toenail polish off and wash your feet. I have a rule about having clean feet on stage. So if you're hanging out backstage before a dance that has no shoes, it's barefoot, you need to keep some ballet shoes on until you come backstage or come onto the stage. I usually keep some baby wipes backstage also so that you can wipe your feet clean before you get on the stage, because we don't want to have the jiffy foot on the Florida Theater stage to perform in. Let's see. What else do we not have backstage? Anything that makes noise, anything that makes a mess, anything that might be fought over with children, right? Even though I said bring some games and stuff, but let's not bring things that are going to be fought over. Anything that is valuable to you. I make this joke all the time about my studios. I say these kids must leave naked and barefoot from the studio because of the way our lost and found ends up so full. The Florida Theater is the same way. When we are packing out at the end of the night, we end up with an entire box full of lost and found, full costumes, point shoes, tennis shoes. Like, I don't know what people are leaving in. We have panties. I throw the panties away. The panties don't go in the lost and found box. I throw those away. But y'all, I find panties in my driveway, in my parking lots at the studio. So I'm not sure what's going on. But my point is, don't bring anything valuable and label everything. If it's labeled, we'll get it returned to you. If it's not labeled, I mean, it's going to sit in a box for a couple of months and then get sent to the, Goodwill.
If the basement children possibly want to bring a blanket or a towel to sit on, that would be fine.
Oh, that's a great idea. In fact, I also encourage that, along with encouraging your dry snacks and your water bottle that passes the blizzard test.
Oh, how many times are you
I'm
gonna say it?
going to
She's
keep
gonna
saying
do
it. I'm going to keep saying it. You are welcome, if you're in the red basement dressing room downstairs, to bring a blanket or towel. That room is really where the technical supplies are kept. So, lighting rigs and things like that are down there. They clean it up really well for us, move everything to the side. So it's kind of just a big open, empty room. Putting a blanket or towel down on the floor, and then you can kind of set up your own little picnic of your dance supplies. It's real fun. And the whole class sits in a little circle or whatever, sits on a blanket together and plays pat a cake or whatever they do while they wait for their dance, sings Kumbaya. I mean, it'll be great.
Because Heather's not back there with them.
This is what would be happening if I were backstage. I am backstage. I am locked in. I stay right here. I'm the director, so I stay right here next to the backstage manager who, gets to call the show. I'm just looking at this and wondering what that is. Interesting. Okay. Anything else? Do we have any other questions on our chat before I open it up to unmute yourselves?
I don't think so.
Okay.
If we haven't received the sign up, I'll get that sign up link to you for pictures if you can't find it.
Okay.
To that person.
Okay, great. We will, you know what, guys, I'm gonna,
put it on the app,
I had said that initially back at open house time. I said that the picture day stuff would be on the app, and I didn't put it on there. So I will add that to the app. So you have the picture day sign up genius and the picture day order form. Your order form for pictures will be on there. So you can grab that, print it out, have it filled out when you come in. If you don't, he's got lots there. When you arrive at the theater or at the studio, rather, you can fill that form out before you get to
again,
pictures.
if you don't see a sign up available to you, please come and come to the back of the line there, and we'll make it all work. We'll make magic and make it happen.
Miss Heather's gonna be, that's me. I will be posing dancers on Friday at 2:10. And we have Miss Alexia and Miss Sarah posing on Saturday at Fruit Cove. And we are holding our company auditions at Fruit Cove on Saturday. So I will be present. And when I have moments, I intend to step into the picture area and pose here and there as I have a free moment. So I'll be around. I'll get to see you. And remember, make sure that you get your accessories if you have any accessories at the table. Anything else any other questions about the logistics, right? We're keeping it simple this year because we're not, everybody's leaving at one time, only at the end. So that's the big question I have for you would be, when do you pick up your child? After they finish dancing, do you come out and start banging on the stage door and say, let my child out, I need to go home? No, ma'am, because Jackie will stop you and she will say, I'm sorry, but this door does not open until the curtain goes down.
And because we want everybody to celebrate the end of the show with us because it's such a special year.
It is. And the balloon drop, I'm telling you what, if you leave before the balloon drop, your kid's going to be disappointed because they want to be on the stage for those balloons. And to answer the question, can I leave with the balloons? Sure.
They get out of there without phoning.
Yeah, go right. Be my guest. And in fact, we're going to need a few parents to help blow up balloons with the air compressor at dress rehearsal time. So if you want to do that, let us know. Any other questions on your end? I just thought of one other thing. I did mention earlier that during dress rehearsal, you want to get your phones ready and take lots of pictures and videos because it won't be permitted that night. And I truly mean that. It's very important to me. This is the other thing I get passionate about on Recital Day. It's very important to me that we honor every dancer. And they only have a few minutes to be on stage. And we don't want to distract them with our phones up. We also don't want us to distract those that are trying to watch the show with our phones. So we're going to leave that to the professionals in the back. Our videographer is in the back. Our photographer is in the back. They're going to capture that evening for you with beautiful photos and videos. You don't want to ruin your own video, from the videographer's video by holding up your phone to take a video, I suggest you be present and truly watch your child shine on stage. This is the other reason why I don't permit parents to come back and forth in and out of the dressing rooms during the show, along with keeping our safety for our kids at the utmost importance. Also, we want to make sure that all of you who have spent so much time and money investing in this year of your child's dance training, we want you to be able to see your child dance without being distracted or blocked by other people coming and going in and out of the theater. So part of my job, I feel like, is not just to train your dancers in proper dance technique and production, professionalism, but also to help train our families in proper theater etiquette and learning that we're going to sit in our seats and we're going to wait for intermission to get up. You certainly, if you have to leave, you need to wait until a blackout, till in between dances, not get up during a dance, but wait until in between numbers to move at all if you need to go to the bathroom or something. So that's really important to me, and it's important to our dancers. I'll tell you a quick story. After my whole life wanting to go to New York City to see the Rockettes, I'd been to New York several times, but hadn't been at Christmas time to see the Rockettes. I wanted to go so bad. I was supposed to go for my 40th birthday. I ended up like 9.5 months pregnant on my 40th birthday. So the next year we decided we're going to go see the Rockettes. And we had this whole trip planned. And a week before we left, that was when Omicron, sparked back up in New York City, and they canceled the Rockettes show. So instead of canceling our trip, we got tickets to the New York City Ballet to see the Nutcracker. And guess what? An hour before that show, they canceled that show. So we ended up at a beautiful piano bar overlooking Columbus Circle and had a great night. But I didn't get to see the Rockettes. So a whole year later, Miss Bethany and I took a trip to New York to see the Rockettes specifically. Well, actually, we went specifically, let me tell you this. We went specifically to see Hugh Jackman in The Music Man. And guess what, y'all?
He was sick.
He called out sick that night, and it was a Saturday night. So we did not get to see Wolverine on stage, and I just thought I would die. So we go to the Rockettes, finally. We're like, yay, we get to go see the Rockettes. And we're watching this amazing show. We're like crying with joy. Like, it was so riveting, so amazing.
Go see them.
Go see the Rockettes. And so amazing. And guess what? These people in front of me get their phones out and start, even though they said, don't get your phones out in video, they're holding their phones up like this. So here I am sitting behind them. Guess what I see? Do I see the Rockettes or do I see their phone? I'm seeing their phone the whole time. And yes, I'm that lady. Excuse me, sir, can you put your phone down so I can see? Thank you so much. And I don't care if I get a snarky look. I'm going to ask them because they were blocking me. I was sitting behind them. This was my lifetime dream to see the Rockettes, and they were blocking my view with their camera. So it's important to me that I help you realize that perspective so that you can be courteous to the people around you and not block people's view with your phone. So that's what my story is about.
I will also tell you that the Florida Theater staff, like the ushers, will also really quick find you and ask you to put your phone down. And that just comes from Florida Theater etiquette, audience etiquette rules. They do it in Nutcracker a lot.
Yeah.
And they'll come and ask you to.
And again, the whole reason for this and for these firm rules is to have the best, most beautiful, magical, joyful experience for everybody possible. So if we all follow the rules, we're all going to be happy. We're all going to have a good time. Everybody's going to see their kid. We're going to get a video and photos at the end, and we'll get to celebrate with a balloon drop. It'll be great. So that is the plan. All right. Does anybody else need to chime in with any questions? Please make sure that you know what your scenario is if you only have one costume or if you have more than one costume. And please do email us. Feel free to call us. We are happy to answer your questions. And remember, when you get there that morning, you're going to get a whole lay of the land. You're going to get to walk around the theater, find your dressing room. We will all be there to help you. And I promise you won't get lost. You won't, wonder where to go. You're going to know exactly what to do. Okay. All right. Anything else? Wonderful. You guys, I just have to say, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate our dance family. I'm grateful for my staff, my sister, and everybody who works along with us. Everybody's really been pitching in. We've all been proofreading the program, getting those quick changes ready, and making sure everything is just as it needs to be so that our day is beautiful for your students. We've worked really hard, prepared a long time for this night, and And we just really are thankful for you and thankful for your children and thankful that you trust us with your child's dance education. It is my life's work, and it is something that I have dedicated myself to doing, and my staff is along with me in that. And we just really love the chance to share our passion for dance with you. So thank you so much, and let us know if you have any other questions, okay? All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.